Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you, so see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show. I really hate my brother's girlfriend. It started with the vegan thing annoying me because she was really preachy to us all about it. But now I don't see him as much, and he doesn't seem to want to do anything with us guys now, and doesn't want to come to five-a-side or anything. It's driving a wedge between us brothers, and I hate that feeling. How can I get through to him, guys? Fucking women.
Vegan, well, preachy vegans, you know my fucking stance on them anyway, so we won't even go
we've
there.
Discussed that already. That was a previous email. These
we won't even go there. I think you got to give him time, really, because a lot of guys, I know a lot of guys, when they get into a relationship firsthand, like it's happened with my friends, it's happened with my brother, it's happened with many people. When they first get into a relationship, it's all intense and like they disappear off the face of the earth. One of my mates, I won't name him, but one of my mates would do this thing where every time he was single, it was I needed to give him all of my attention, otherwise he would get annoyed. And throughout that time, I was married to Charlotte, so I was busy on other stuff as well. But as soon as he was taken, I wouldn't hear from him for like 2 years. Then he'd go single again, and then you'd go incrementally like that throughout. And I think some guys are built like that. They just disappear off the face of the earth. As soon as they get a girlfriend, that's all that matters. And after a few months, they'll come back and realise that he's bored of just her and him sitting in a fucking house together. Do you know what I mean? But I think you need to let that happen.
I think that shows that they're in the wrong relationship together because you've got a partner, because there's no balance, right? There's just the partner's like, this is how you're going to be, and this is what we're doing, and the guy doesn't want to upset her, or he feels like now that he's finally got someone, he doesn't want to lose it. Because I was like that, like I don't really see many people anyway, but like I wouldn't like want to like outstep or outspeak or anything like that in case she would leave because I felt like I deserved this piece of shit in my life. When obviously now I think myself, well, waste of fucking time. But yeah, I know, I agree with Jamie. Like, you got to let him come to himself. Like, the more you nag him and stuff like that,
you'll make yourself look like the bad guy.
Yeah, situation. You can say to him, you know, I miss you on like five-a-side and stuff like that, and like still invite him to things.
Yeah.
But just don't be surprised when he doesn't want to go. But like, you need to be there still, like in the back of his mind. If you know what I mean. Like, that's what I mean. Like, if you're doing five-a-side, message him and say, do you want to come? And eventually he'll be like Jamie says, he'll get bored of just the two of them, and he'll be like, oh yeah, I do want to come.
Yeah, and it will become more and more frequent then that he wants to do stuff.
Yeah. It's hard when you have a relationship where like one partner is more dominant than the other.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to deal with, especially if he feels like he's happy, he might very well be happy. People sometimes do like that relationship.
But some people, when they get into relationships, are very into the pleasing the other person, and that makes them happy. And sometimes that is a good thing, but sometimes people can take advantage of it. But you don't really know, because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know how much of it is him and how much of it is her. So I think you got to kind of just like, as Dan said, like stay in the conversation, but don't like overstep and like nag him. Because the more you do that, the more you'll drive a wedge between you, because you'll get frustrated because he'll keep turning you down as well. So what I would suggest is, like, a lot of guys do it as a terms of endearment, just send like the odd meme to each other and stuff like that and see if it reciprocates. It doesn't always have to be serious talk. Do you know what I mean? Just have like a bit of light-hearted chat about basketball, football, whatever you're into, and then see where you go from there. But
Mind games, Jamie. That's what it is. Mind games. You want him to miss you and argue with her, and not argue with you because he's with her. Mind games, mate. Mind
you need
games.
to manipulate the shit out of him,
Yeah, yeah. That's what you want.
or do what that film Mind Cage does, and then like find a way to like transport your consciousness into her, and
Or you could heavy metal poison her like the film I was watching. references. Yeah, it's tough. Like every guy goes. I think before, like when we said about new relationships and that and stuff, like when you first get with someone is when you're really supposed to set your boundaries.
yeah,
But because you have that whole fucking honeymoon period where they're just sort of like, that's fine, okay, you get into this like rut where they're like, oh well, he didn't mind before, he won't mind now.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Because that's why I said to you before. I think I said to you before. I was like, never say to your partner, I would never stop you going out, or you can go out whenever you want, because that's just an argument waiting to happen.
yeah. Because some people might take that literally
Yeah,
and totally disregard any time with you and cancel plans with you and stuff to go
exactly.
out.
So you need to be like not serious. You need to be realistic in what you're saying to people. You can't be like overly nice because you think that that's going to keep them around.
No,
You know, you need to be realistic and just be like, you know, if we're supposed to do something, you cancel on me, I'm fucking full well going to have an argument with you, you dickhead. That's what he says. I fucking love ruining relationships. But like, yeah, just keep messaging and being there, and that'd be all right. I think that's the best thing you can do, right?
yeah. I think he give it 6 months. He's been with this girl for a month or so, whatever. Give him 6 months.
Has he?
I don't know. I'm just assuming.
No, I think he's been with her for a lot longer than that.
Well, it's probably been a few months since he's messaged us.
He messaged the vegan one in March, so he's
Right,
at
so they've
least
been together
March.
6 months. Yeah, so give him a few more months anyway, on top of whatever, and just see if the intensive stuff calms down. As Dan said, like everyone's in their fucking comfort zone at this point, so he's saying yes and no to a lot of things that he wouldn't normally, and he's probably doing a lot of like meeting her family and stuff like that, and people busy,
Yeah,
so there's only so much time in the week. So I think give him the benefit of the doubt for now. But if he carries on, sometimes you do have to be a little bit of the bad guy and tell him that he needs to divvy up his time a bit better.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But don't just cut him off. I know that's like when
Easy to
he's
do.
like being like that. Yeah, you're like, well, I'm not going to bother texting him then.
Mm,
I don't think that's like, you know what I mean? You're like, yeah, he doesn't want to do things, but you don't want to completely miss out on conversations and stuff with him.
no.
So that's how it goes. That's definitely a tough one.